Just out of curiosity, Bashar, what team are you supporting?
Listen, I have a Toronto Raptors hat on. I have a Pakistan Matrix jersey. I'm confused.
Yeah, both really alarming teams to support if you are even remotely a basketball fan.
My biggest dilemma is who am I supporting in the Pakistan versus Canada match?
That's the thing. I met Saad Zafar and Saad was like, "You're supporting us, right?" And I had to nod, but then I was like, "You've been on the podcast. You've seen their memorabilia. You should know better than this." And he was vaguely disappointed. And maybe that's why I wouldn't get Canada tickets, bro. Maybe if I had, but if our allegiance was aligned more towards Team Red, maybe we would have been in New York next week.
At least the one thing that we know for sure is that whoever wins, we're going to be happy.
Are we?
I mean, Canada wins. It's going to be a great win for cricket, for Associate Nations. And this is why I love the T20 World Cup. Anybody can win any match. It's all open. Last World Cup, we remember, Netherlands beat South Africa, which just opened the floodgates for Pakistan. We went to the finals. Incredible run, by the way.
I think before we get into the gist of the episode, let's do a really quick intro. Welcome back to Backward Point Podcast. My name is Nazar Sayed, and this is an episode about the World Cup Preview. Today, we're going to be talking about all the teams that are playing in the tournament. Rest in peace, English. And we're going to talk about what the tournament's going to be like, what are the groups like, who we think is going to make it out, and sort of simulate towards the finals. With me, as always, is my brother and co-host, Bashar Sayed.
Hello and welcome back. I don't know why I did. What is this?
It's been a while. So here's a little bit of a personal anecdote of what's going on behind the scenes at Backward Point Studios. Family's gone. Like, everybody is, like, the wife and kids are in Pakistan. Parents are having a great time in Europe. Asked my dad to go to the World Cup with us. He was like, hell no, I'll be in Germany. So it's basically just me and Bashar at Backward Point headquarters in our house. So it's like, we might even give you 3 podcasts a day. We don't know.
What can people expect from Backward Point in this podcast? I think let's just set the expectations. The one thing is for sure, we'll be reviewing every single Pakistan match.
Yes, we've decided on this. Every single Pakistan game, we're going to be here. Every single India game, we're going to be here. And then, one of the big ones like England versus Australia, Ireland versus Canada. That's big for us in this household.
Also,
the big ones will be here as well.
A new rivalry has emerged in the past few years. Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh.
The Noggin?
ICC put them in the same group.
They know something. Well, we'll talk about ICC putting a lot of teams in a lot of groups. Maybe a little bit preemptively. But yeah, I'm all for it. The rivalries are going to be insane. Ireland, England is always a good one if Ireland makes it through. But in order for Ireland to make it through, you gotta sacrifice a few big ones. It's gonna be a great one. I'm looking forward to this World Cup. I'm looking forward to the content we make. A lot of people are asking us if we are going to New York City. Look, I'm gonna be honest. We had our stuff booked, right? We had a full plan. We were in touch with certain players from certain teams. And long story short, TLDR, we don't have tickets. I put up a story on Backward Point Socials, like, hey, if anybody is rich there and has tickets or is like a sponsor or anything of that nature that could help support the podcast to go and see Pakistan India live in New York City, please reach out. We reached out at all of our links that we have in the cricketing world. They've all come back dry, and nobody has $1,500 to pay and see Pakistan potentially lose a match. Like, there's a 50% chance that it'll win, 50% chance they will lose. And nobody can guarantee that it's going to be a wild one like the 2022 World Cup game, which was, I think, in my opinion, one of the greatest T20 games ever played. So, long story short, we're not going, and it's a bummer.
It was a sad decision, but a one we had to make ultimately because we don't have tickets. We don't have a media pass yet. Yeah. ICC, I'm looking at you.
We reached out to the ICC, and the ICC said that we're not an established enough organization for them to give us media access. So here we are. I mean, if you guys think differently, at ICC, you know where to find them.
Get Backward Point media passes, hashtag. That's it.
I think it's a little bit too late.
Get this viral.
I think it's a little bit too late. At this point, we have exciting things still planned out. Maybe we'll do like a live stream of the game. I'm trying to convince him to do it because Bashar is, you're not into it. You're like, I want to be locked in on my Twitter game when that is happening.
Yo, I want to watch Pakistan versus India on my couch at home in peace.
Okay, but you will, but there'll be a camera on you.
That's pressure.
For what?
That's added pressure.
For what?
For just my reactions. What if I swear out loud? What if we lose? What if we win and I get too excited?
Bro, what if we get a moment like the 2021 World Cup where we live stream?
Which we did live stream, by the way.
Yeah. Our Patreon people have access to that. They have access to a lot of quote unquote lost episodes that we did in a different name, same podcast, different name on a different channel. And those are all obviously private videos, but if you're on Patreon, you get access to all that, like the lore, legacy of the podcast.
We're also having our pre-World Cup Patreon call on Sunday.
Yes, very excited about that. Don't know what's going to happen. People are very, very anxious. We get messages every day. Like backward point has become cricket therapy for a lot of people. When Pakistan lost from Ireland, I was at the Blue Jays. We were at the Blue Jays thing, right? And funnily enough, Carlos was there, and Carlos was like, "Haha, I told you guys." When we went back home after that thing, obviously we knew the Pakistan lost. DMs were flooded, man.
It's also when we meet backward point community members in public, they sort of vent to us. Like we were at an event recently, a couple of weeks ago, and we saw some people who are backward point regular listeners, and they don't want to hear us in person. They want to vent their feelings to us.
Yeah, whenever we meet fans of the podcast, it's a hey, hello, can I have a picture? Yes, sure. And then it's just like 20 minutes of them just being like, man, what is Babar doing? I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I
have a really funny story to share.
But before you get that first story out, I just want to quickly talk about the kits we're wearing because it's important. And this is great retention stuff because people are like, oh, what was the funny story Bashar had? We'll come back to it. But I just want to do a real quick kit review. The really kind people at Pavilion Sports sent us kits, the Pakistan kits. They asked, they were going to send us the Indian kits as well. And we're like, I mean, you could, but we're not going to wear it because we're supporting Pakistan in the World Cup. And they're very kind enough to be like, haha, we get it. Okay, fine, we'll send you Pakistan kits. These are the original Matrix jersey kits. And if you're in North America, if you're in Europe, I'm pretty sure they ship to Europe. You can fact check me on that, but definitely North America. You want original Pakistan jerseys, super fast. Pavilion Sports. We'll leave a link in the description below. Again, they were kind enough to send us a pair. So obviously our motivations are biased, but yo, support these guys out. These guys are doing a really interesting thing. They're trying to get as much memorabilia, as much World Cup swag that you can get out there. They have Indian jerseys as well. They most likely have other countries. Go through their website and you will find out. And yeah, just give them a shout. Like DM them, let them know Backward Point sent you. They're selling it at a very reasonable price.
Links in the description.
Yeah, all the links we're talking about are in the description. Let them know BP sent you. DM them. Get your jerseys, guys. Support your team. Get that spirit up because I know a lot of people are a bit bummed out. They're not sure about what Pakistan's going to do or what their team India is going to do. Our Indian fans are like losing their minds. They're not even talking about the India-Pakistan game because they're like, we don't even know how India's going to perform at this World Cup. But you know what? Whenever I felt similarly, if I'm being honest, as being a Pakistan fan, as soon as I've put this on, man, it feels different.
Shout out to the PCB, shout out to Pavilion Sports. This shirt quality is amazing.
Yeah.
I think the design has grown on me. When I've seen it in person, it's just the color looks vibrant. It looks easy on the eyes, very minimalist style. So I like it. I'm wearing it. I'm going to be wearing it in every single Pakistan match. And hopefully as Pakistan progresses through the tournament, these are going to be hard to find, guys. So get it now while you can.
They sell out quickly. One little anecdote as well. My son Mikhail, I got him the same Matrix jersey in like a baby romper situation. So, three of us are going to be twinning, even though he's going to be in Pakistan, but, we'll be twinning. So
absolutely.
That's a good one. Links in the description. Check them out. Buy swag from them. Let them know. Again, I love this. Again, it's nice. It's more vibrant in person. I thought I was kind of like not into it before when I saw the pictures and the press releases and whatnot. Looks a lot better in person. Quality is a lot better. I'm so glad. I hope this is not AJ. Is it AJ Sports?
No, it's
right?
PCB.
PCB is making their own merch. So I'm glad they're sort of gone away from that because the AJ stuff wasn't the best. At the same time, PCB, I know you guys listen. Get a real graphic designer to make your shirts. Like this is good quality. the design is okay. I've seen a lot more fantasy kits online that have been kind of catching my eye.
Exactly. I've seen better designs online by just some kid in his Photoshop
100%.
working things out. So I think there's so many ideas they can explore. For
Yeah.
example, a lot of people want to see Pakistan go back to the 1999 retro jersey, which is arguably some of our favorite kits from that era.
Yeah, that's mine. That's like top 3 for me, maybe top 2 even. Yeah, that jersey from '99. Like, go back, go retro, man. Like, everybody's doing it. New Zealand just did it. Their kits are fire. And yeah, it just makes it's more fun. This seems like a very ominous reminder of the Cricket World Cup of 2023 because it's very similar. There's angles, there's gradients, and it's not Star Nation or whatever, but it's just not good vibes. I'm not trying to jinx anything, guys, and we get a lot of bad rapport when we're tweeting and we're like, blah 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 is in is gonna do really good, and then he goes out for a duck or something, and then we're to blame. Not trying to jinx anything, but I just think that we could have some different colors now. It's been a while. One thing I like about this jersey, and I swear this last thing I'm going to talk about, I like the star situation they have here. That's
The star on top of the star.
signifies the one win that we have, and I would actually put like 1 star and then like 1 3/4 star and then 1 half star because the 2 semifinal losses, 1 final loss. That's just me being petty, but I like that touch. It reminds us of what we've done and where we have to go. So yeah, back to your story.
So this is the story. Our cricket season has started here in
Yes.
Canada.
Oh yes.
And we had a game a couple of weeks ago. The team was batting first. They were about 60 for 2 wicket falls. This new batsman comes in. I'm fielding on fine leg. He comes in. He plays 2, 3 dot balls. And I'm always trying to get into the batsman's head. If I'm not bowling, it has to be through my fielding. So I notice this kid, he's a teenager. His shirt number is 56. And I'm like, let me actually. So the next ball he plays is a dot ball. And I say, oh, this guy is a Babar Azam fan. His shirt number is 56. And he's playing slow just like Babar Azam does. His strike rate is not up there. So I'm like full on sledging him in between balls. Before the next ball is bowled, he turns around, he looks at me, he smiles, and the next ball, he goes down the track, tries to launch the spot ball into outer space, toes it, goes up in the air, and he's caught at mid-off. And after the match, he talks to me. He's like, man, we won the match. He's like, man, you got into my head, bro. I'm a big Babar Azam fan, but you got into my head. I gave the wicket away. I should have been patient. I should have just, listened to it and zoned out. But you got me.
So you're good at sledging now.
My teammates say that is my wicket.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Definitely. That's how the Australians used to get in everybody's head. That's a good one, actually. A bit rough around the edges because of the Babar Azam stuff. That's not going to trigger anybody. But definitely one of those moments where sledging works out. And I just want to know, a lot of people are interested in what we play and how we play. There are a few live stream games, like we're starting to live stream them. If you guys are interested, let us know, and we might release it at the Patreon.
Maybe.
Private link. We'll let them know. Private link, because I don't know if the world is ready to see us play cricket like at mass yet, and I don't know if a lot of our teammates are comfortable for them to be blasted like that. But it would be interesting to see what the Patreon fam thinks about that.
Hey,
Definitely.
As Yuvraj Singh commented on one of our reels, it is easier to talk cricket than to actually play it.
Oh, bro, I know. I'm still recovering from shin splints. Like that's what it is. I think we've been rambling for a while. The podcast hasn't even. It's been 15 minutes. All right, let's get to the point. People have already tuned out. But let's get to why we're gathered here on this momentous day wearing the greens. The 2024 T20 World Cup Preview. Just a little bit of summary. The World Cup starts from the 1st of June to the 29th of June. Fun fact, smaller than the IPL, shorter than the IPL, less games. Runs about 29 days. It's done before you know it. 55 matches to take place in between the West Indies and the USA. Right off the bat, what do we expect from this World Cup?
Man, this is the first World Cup being held in the USA. And cricket is on the rise here in North America, Canada, and the USA. The Global T20 was launched here 4 or 5 years ago. And then last year, the Major League Cricket League happened here, and it's happening again. and we're hearing that the global T20 is taking place here again. So cricket is on the rise. There's a big market for it. I was hearing one of the investors in the MLC saying that they predict or they assume that 10% of the US population is into cricket. So that's a market of about 30 million people.
Yeah.
Which is quite a huge market.
Yeah, I'll give you an anecdote. You know this. You and I were at Canada's Wonderland last week with the family, and at one of the rides called Flight Deck, I crashed my phone. It fell from the roller coaster as it was going upside down, and it it's gone. So I had to go back into the mall and get my new phone. And I was at one of those mall kiosks, and they had a Bell TV thing going on. Not sponsored by Bell, will not be sponsored by Bell, but they had Willow TV playing, and there was this like native Canadian, like as I'm saying, like native, as in like they're Canadian born and bred. Um, this dad explaining to his daughter what the IPL was and what cricket was. And I was so surprised at what he was saying. He knew cricket, like he knew of cricket. Like if you ask my dad what baseball is, like he'll know of baseball, which is good enough, at least to have in his like lexicon. He knows it's in his periphery. He knows what cricket is. He knows who Virat Kohli was. It was the RCB qualifier game, which they lost. And he knew, like he was explaining to his daughter, oh, that's a 4, that's a 6 if you haven't over the whole thing. So it's coming to a point where the casuals are, if not taking interest, at least know about it. I've heard about cricket from a lot of podcasters in the entertainment area. Van Lathan from the Ringer podcast, he was talking about cricket.
Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom, he was a leg spinner for his university.
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman famously played with Shane Warne. Who else?
Mark Wahlberg was an investor in the CPL.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah. And what's his name? Will Arnett, Lego Batman himself, talked about it.
The Coldplay dude, Chris Morton, one of the best friends with Shane Warne, and he used to also play with Phil Harvey, the manager of Coldplay, on a cricket team.
Yeah, but that's more like, okay, so I give that one more of a pass because English, right?
Sure.
Like, you know,
okay, sure.
Boarding school, everybody plays cricket there. But like in North America, it's getting popular. Kumail Nanjiani famously at one of the games went viral.
Well, he's diaspora.
He's diaspora, but like, you know, he's explaining to his white American wife what cricket is, and it went viral. So it's happening. It's a really good, exciting time to be a fan of cricket. It's a good time to be a fan of cricket. Explain the game to your white friends, guys. Explain the game to people who are the casuals, the civilians. Get them on board because it's about to be a really exciting and bumpy ride. That's why I'm so excited about the USA games, because they have 3 locations. They have New York City, which what I've been told is, I don't think it's actually in New York City, it's near Jersey more, but you know, native New Yorkers will correct us if that's the case. They have Florida, they have Dallas. Those are the 3 places that the games are happening. I'm very excited. Like I would like to have seen maybe Canada incorporated as well. Give Toronto a few games. Not bad. Like it's a 2-hour flight from New York. It would have been a lot more easier on us to travel and get maybe passes, but definitely the game is expanding. This is the first T20 World Cup with the most amount of teams. 20 teams are playing this T20 World Cup, which is, I would say, long awaited. I think the whole ODI World Cup being 10 teams is a huge missed opportunity for smaller teams to come up. If you think this is a World Cup, we need to see as many teams as possible. We need to see as many new faces as possible. I feel like the ODI World Cup is just a little bit of an elongated Champions Trophy situation, which bugs me because you can see the capitalism through the lenses. You can see why it's only 10 teams, so you can get as many India games as possible. You can see why it's a smaller tournament, just because you just want to capture as much attention as possible. I feel like the T20 World Cup is a format that will see the game expand more. And that's what I want to see. I want to see those upsets. Like Carlos said in our podcast, I want to see smaller teams beat bigger teams. And I feel like this is the perfect platform and perfect format for that to happen.
Yeah. So 18 teams came through qualification aside from USA and Canada because they were hosts. They qualify automatically. The top 8 teams from the last T20 World Cup qualify automatically. And then the other 4 teams, or the other couple of teams, qualified because they were in the top 12 ICC rankings. Ireland, Scotland qualified coming through the European qualifiers. regional qualifiers. PNG qualified through East Asia Pacific. Canada qualified through Americas. They just passed Bermuda over net run rate to make it to the World Cup, which is huge for them. Nepal and Oman from Asia, also a very close regional qualifier. There were some net run rate stuff. There were some ties. And then surprisingly, Uganda and Namibia qualified from the Africas ahead of Zimbabwe, a test playing nation.
Wild. See, that's crazy to me. That's what tells you about this format, the unpredictability of it. If you are good on your day, then it's your day. Like, it doesn't matter if you're playing India, if you're playing Australia, because all of these teams have been beat by lesser teams in this format. This format is insane when it comes to just accountability of your playing. There's not enough time to recover. If somebody's on their day, if they're going on a roll, you have to get them or you will be hunted. And that's what it is. I love it.
These 4 groups in this World Cup have been designed meticulously.
Oh, yes.
There's the arch rivals, India, Pakistan in the same group. You see England, Australia there. And now I would say Sri Lanka, Bangladesh also in the same group. So ICC knows what's going on. They've made a mistake in the past where in the 2007 ODI World Cup, they put Pakistan and India in different groups, expecting them to make it to the same group in Super 8s, but they were both knocked out in the first round. So they don't want to repeat that same mistake again. So there's 4 groups, A, B, C, D. Group A has India, Pakistan, USA, Canada, and Ireland. 2 big rivalries here, India, Pakistan, Canada, USA. The first international cricket match ever played in 1844 was between Canada and USA.
People remember that.
And the first match of this World Cup is also Canada versus USA.
Yeah, I'm genuinely looking forward to that. USA seems like a great team right now.
They just beat Bangladesh 2-1. And
Insane.
the third game they lost was because they rested their main guys. So
USA is resting guys.
USA is workload management, bro.
Be afraid, guys. Be very afraid. I had a question. Is this the toughest group in the whole roster that we have?
Man, I think even Group C is tight.
Group D is tight too, actually.
Yeah, so Group B is Australia, England, Namibia, Oman, and Scotland. Group C is Afghanistan, New Zealand, West Indies, PNG, and Uganda. Group D is South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Netherlands, and Nepal.
Yo, yeah, C is tough.
C is tough because Afghanistan is, along with New Zealand and West Indies, 2 of these are going to make it. And Afghanistan can, I wouldn't say at this point they upset teams. They comprehensively beat teams. Last ODI World Cup, they almost qualified for semis. There was some scenario happening where they could have qualified. They beat Pakistan. They almost beat Australia. Had it not been for Glenn Maxwell's incredible double century, they were through the line there as well.
Yeah, totally. I think Group C is very tough. Like, honestly, New Zealand is under pressure in that group. To beat Afghanistan and West Indies in West Indies at turning tracks, that's gonna be tough for New Zealand.
So,
not gonna lie.
Top 2 teams from these 4 groups then go to the Super 8.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing here is that the teams are sort of predetermined. Whereas, so what I mean by that is that if Pakistan and India qualify, it's already decided which groups are they going to go into. So from groups A, B, C, D, top 2 teams go to Group 1 and Group 2. And if you assume the top teams are going to qualify, we might see a Group 1 which has India, Australia, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka. And Group 2 is going to have Pakistan, England, South Africa, and West Indies. So this is considering that your usual top 2 best teams qualify. So India, Pakistan from Group A, Australia, England from Group B, West Indies, New Zealand from Group C, and South Africa, Sri Lanka from Group D.
So in a scenario where, let's say, Ireland or Canada qualify instead of India, right? Does that mean Pakistan and Canada would be in Group 2?
That's how it is? No, that it would mean that Pakistan stays in Group 2, but if Canada qualifies ahead of India in some parallel universe, they will go in Group 1 with Australia, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka.
See, this is where I've started to, when I was doing research for this, like this is what was really bugging me out. No other World Cup functions this way. As much as it would have been A plus TV, it might have been like not even A plus plus TV to have um, Ronaldo's Portugal play against Messi's Argentina. Nobody manufactured it like that. It would have been amazing to see that. Honestly, it would have been the best to get them in the same pool. But that's not how the FIFA works.
FIFA works based on draws.
I feel like that's more fair, right? Like I'm okay up until you predetermine the groups, right? You want an India Pakistan game, you want an England Australia game, you want Sri Lanka Bangladesh game, right? You want those games, but after that, let it be organic. The fact that the ICC wants to maneuver, like if it was up to them, they would do what the ACC does, which is basically have as many Pakistan India games as possible. Right? It's like I see them restraining themselves from putting India Pakistan in the same group again in the Super 8s. I see that.
Because it would be more of a lucrative thing for the ICC if India Pakistan play the semis or
Again,
the finals.
I know what you're talking about, but then it reeks of capitalism again, because this is not helping the sport of cricket. This is not organic. This is not how like sporting bodies work in the world. This is just an orchestration of how many eyeballs can we get, how many ads can you put in front of people, and how much money we can make. I think it's disgusting. Only because India is still the only team that knows where they're going to play the semifinal if they reach it.
For sure. India,
This
if
is
you didn't
wild.
know, there's been sources within the ICC that have told Cricinfo that if India make it to the top 4, they will play the semifinal in Guyana, which is going to be a day match. So it's going to be nighttime in India. So like Eid Mubarak for the broadcasters, right? So that's unfair because no other team knows if they qualify for semis, where are they going to be playing? And India, knowing this, have picked 4 spinners in their team because the ball turns and grips in Guyana.
Again, this is insane, including another very extreme wild thing that has happens nowhere else in the world. Because of broadcasting rights, we have World Cup games happening at 10:30 a.m. in the morning.
On a weekday.
On a weekday. A T20 game. On T20, like we have realized this in the past 10 years, I believe. And I think, as the years go on, it just solidifies the fact that cricket under lights is the best way to play cricket and best way to watch cricket. It's the most fun. There's something about night cricket. The crowd is more ecstatic. Everyone's relaxed. It's cool evenings. It's fun. It looks better on TV. The 4K looks so good. And we have an India Pakistan game playing at 10:30 a.m. in the morning just so we can get prime time eyeballs back home in India and Pakistan. I think that's ridiculous. It's a disgrace to the fans attending these games to be up that godly amount of ungodly hour. I get it for 50 over matches. I remember the games that we saw in
the
ODI World Cup were started at 9:30, I believe
9:30
10 a.m. But then again, that's an 8-hour game. It makes sense. When you can have a T20 game start at like 6, 7 p.m., why wouldn't you do that? Only to accommodate viewers back home. Again, I want to be engrossed in this World Cup as much as possible, but little stuff like that, maybe it's just me, this bothers me, rubs me the wrong way. It's a lot of other franchises, a lot of other leagues try to hide the business of it all. The NBA does it, FIFA does it, Premier League does it. They try to hide the business of it all. Like everything is a business. But I feel like the ICC and co they haven't reached that point where they know how to mask it really well. It's just so blatantly out in the open that it sometimes takes me away from enjoying the game.
Some would say they're giving the fans what they want.
Which
right?
is,
Everybody wants to see an India-Pakistan match.
Yeah.
They want to see, because they don't play bilaterals, ICC events are the only place where they are actually, or ACC events. Global tournaments is where they see themselves playing each other.
I don't like, that's a whole different debate. We've touched upon that many times before and why that's the case. I don't mind the sort of tampering of the groups to have these like the group stage matches. But then when you go into Super 8s, when you go into qualifiers and playoffs, and you're sort of trying to meddle into who plays who, that's where I have the issue. Because then the organicness of like the natural tendency of the game to flow a certain way just stops. And yeah, okay, a few bad years have passed in the past 20 years where India, Pakistan have not qualified. But in 2003, semifinal was played by Bangladesh, I believe.
No, it was Kenya actually.
Kenya played a semifinal in 2003. That's insane. That should have been a like a watershed moment for Kenya where they sort of become a team that's like solid, build after that foundation. Didn't happen. Like there's so many other moments like that where teams had opportunities to come into the top four. And it seems like just because of views and broadcasting rights, it's actually not in the interest of the ICC for these little teams to come up and be a force uh, of, of competition to the other teams. And I sometimes see it so blatantly. Again, like I said, it takes me out of the game. I just hope that the ICC can find a different, I don't know, revenue model or broadcasting model, which helps these teams grow so we can have more than just three rivalries in the sport. This is insane. I look at a sport like basketball and have I think 14 teams in every conference. They have almost 30 teams playing each other every single year. There's multiple rivalries going on. There's star players in every single team, and that's what I want this to become. Right? I just don't want it to be in like a Pakistan, India, Australia, England, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. And Sri Lanka, Bangladesh is sort of contorted. Like they really want that to happen. They keep pitting themselves against each other. And honestly, Sri Lankan players and Bangladeshi players are so like into the hype now that they've sort of believed that whole Nagan situation. So it's nice. But then I also like the whole soft Netherlands, South Africa thing that's going on. Like, hey, they've beaten them in the two major tournaments back to back. It's getting heated, right? I like that. I like the whole Ireland, England thing also, colonialism and all that. Like you see that sort of played out, Scotland, England. But again, I want these teams to be good. Like I want Scotland to be a genuine force to be reckoned with, and England, like literally thinking about Scotland, like they're a tough team. And I want more of those.
There's definitely an onus on the ICC to help grow the sport, to help these smaller associate nations invest in their infrastructure. You talk about growing the sport. The ICC spent millions of dollars building this stadium in New York.
That's how.
It's a portable stadium. They built it up. They're going to make tenfolds the money they invested to build it back from this India versus Pakistan match alone. But they're going to tear it down once it's over. So how is this stadium or this World Cup actually helping USA cricket? And I often do the same thing for the global T20 here in Canada. The league happens, they build the stadium in Brampton, and once the league is over, they tear it down. And every international player we've spoken to have said that there is a lack of infrastructure. There's no proper facilities. And we spoke to, I remember, Andre Russell, post-match press conference. We spoke to Jimmy Neesham. We spoke to Rusty van der Dussen. And they were actually quite infuriated that there's no turf pitches here in Canada. There's no proper match net facilities that can help replicate match situations. So how can you expect cricket to grow here when you have these sort of circumstances? Also, the Canadian team, because we know some of the players closely, we understand that up until a few months ago, before Canada had ODI status, these guys are working full-time jobs. Someone's working as an accountant, someone's working in IT, and they're playing cricket part-time. So how can you expect these guys who are part-time cricketers and part-time, full-time workers to compete with the Babar Azams or the Virat Kohlis of the world come ICC events when they don't have the same sort of opportunities to begin with?
That's true. I think that's where the ICC sort of steps in and says like, "Hey, we'll subsidize." But then again, the ICC is like, "Where do we get the money to subsidize?" And I feel like that's on the bigger boards that are contributing to the ICC revenue to be like, "Hey, there should be like maybe a fund or something that goes straight into these smaller boards who can sort of lift their players up at least enough to get them to quit their day jobs and focus, 8 to 10 hours on cricket a day as opposed to 3 to 4." Um, the whole building the stadium and tearing it down thing, I think it's more of it's a finance thing. Like stadiums these days cost upwards of $100 million to make. Like just the stadium that Brooklyn made. No, yeah, no, LA made another stadium for the LA Clippers, I believe, and that was like a $400 million stadium that they just made.
What happens to stadiums that FIFA built for the World Cups? Do they tear it down after?
No, they stay there. They become so. That's the whole thing in Brazil, right? When they hosted one of the Brazil World Cups, I believe it was a Brazil World Cup. They had like massive investment, made all these stadiums to accommodate all these players, and then they become ghost town. Like what is happening with the Qatar stadium? That the stadiums in Qatar that was for the World Cup. Look that up. Like that stuff it's real. It's serious. So until that, there's a proper thriving culture in both Canada and the US. I don't think building a $200 million stadium is the answer. You need like a deep grassroots infrastructure. Stadiums like in the UK, at least, I've been following a lot of UK county and how that works and whatnot. The way that works is like every stadium has a local grassroots county depending on them, right? Like all the county games happen at like Trent Bridge and Edgbaston and yada yada yada. So even if the international cricket is not happening, they're making money out of county, and they're getting sponsors and whatnot to invest in that. Until and unless there's like a proper system like that all around, at least the big cities in North America, I don't think you're going to see anybody spending 200 million for one game. Maybe like a I keep saying this, a tri-series is maybe the answer for a lot of these younger nations. I know Canada, India, and Pakistan used to play the Sahara Cup here. That ended a while ago, but that I can see that if that's like a regular occurrence, then you can see maybe some sort of infrastructure in place. But even then, it doesn't account for a $200 million. Like it'll take them like 100 years to make that money back.
Yeah, just small correction. India, Pakistan played Sahara Cup, but there was also I think there's a triangular series here in 2007 or 8.
Right.
Where
Canada was
Pakistan, Canada, Sri Lanka, and Zimbabwe played. It was a four-way series.
Yeah.
So interesting.
I remember because Rizwan Chima hit Shoaib Akhtar for a 6, and people still talk about that.
It was a slower ball, guys.
I'm
a big Shoaib Akhtar fan.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to Rizwan about this, and Rizwan was like, "It was slower ball," but still, hey, that's in his lexicon. He did that. So those are the groups that we talked about and sort of touched upon why it kind of reeks of capitalism. Let's go into a simulation mode. What's happening with
let's
teams?
go prediction. This is why you guys watch us. You guys want to see who we're predicting. The funny thing here is I don't know your top 4. I don't know who you have in your Super 8s or who do you have as winners. And just a disclaimer, I think it is absolutely stupid to be predicting top 4s, winners, etc. Because
especially in T20.
Yes, especially this format, because you never really know who can win.
Yeah.
Right? I think people were calling you crazy the last T20 World Cup because you kept believing Pakistan would qualify for top 4s. And there was something going on there that if South Africa had beaten Netherlands, Pakistan was out.
Yeah.
Right? So sometimes even the obvious things plans can change based on upsets, which is there's lots of room for upsets in this format.
Totally. We got 4 groups. We got 5 teams of each. 2 have to qualify to the Super 8s. Who do you have in the Super 8s, bro?
From Group A, I have India and Pakistan going through. From Group B, I have Australia, England. From Group C, I have New Zealand and West Indies. Group D, I have South Africa and Sri Lanka. The one upset which may happen is from Group C. I think Afghanistan just may be able to pull through because realistically they'll beat PNG and Uganda, and they just got to upset New Zealand or West Indies to go through.
Honestly, that's my pick. That's the only change that I would make. Again, same thing. From A, I would have India, Pakistan. B, I would have Australia, England. From C, I have Afghanistan and West Indies. I don't have New Zealand pulling through. I don't think they have the firepower. I think Kane Williamson eats too many balls. I think that sounded wrong.
Deliveries.
He eats up too many deliveries, and I just think their balance is tilted. How much can Mitchell Santner do for them? I don't know. I don't think they make it out of this. I think they win against PNG and Uganda, but I think they lose against West Indies and Afghanistan.
This is what happens. Everybody writes off New Zealand every World Cup, but somehow they come up, they make it to the top 4, only to lose.
No, watch them win this whole thing just because I said that. But I don't rate New Zealand to come out of the group stages. And then D, I have South Africa, Sri Lanka, because I think Bangladesh. I don't think they have it in them to beat South Africa, Sri Lanka. I also don't think Bangladesh have it in them to beat Netherlands. Do we have a lot of Bangladeshi fans? I hope not, because it's going to be really triggering for them. I don't think they can beat Netherlands. Netherlands are on fire. if like Bastilita is like riding a high.
Hey,
he
some
knock
of
it
their
over.
players are not in this World Cup squad because they're bounded by their counties. Like Roelof van der Merwe
Not in?
he's not in because he's got up the county. So
Oh,
I think
okay.
he didn't get the NOC to leave the county to go play the World Cup.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah,
That's
there's also
wild.
one more player. I forgot their name, but yeah, this county stuff is crazy, man.
Well, but still, I wouldn't write them off. I would love to see Shari's play. Friend of the podcast.
He didn't get picked.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, him
Shari's.
or his brother. I think his brother's name is Musa. They both didn't get picked for the World Cup.
Oh, crazy.
So Shari's Ahmed is a player for the Dutch team.
Yes, he was on the
And
pod.
He was on the pod when they beat
South Africa.
South Africa in the ODI World Cup. So yeah, it was fun connection, fun chatting with him.
Yeah, tough. I would have loved to see him. Maybe he's young. He has time to make it back.
So Group 1, according to me, is going to be India, Australia, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka. Group 2,
according to me, it's going to be New Zealand out, Afghanistan in.
Yeah. So Group 2, according to me, is going to be Pakistan, England, South Africa, and West Indies.
Same.
Again, because these teams are seeded in advance, we know which team is going to go in which group. Now, this is the business end of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Super 8s, we're here. Only 2 teams can go through from each group. So who do you have going in from Group 1? I think so. For Group 1 for you is India, Australia, Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan.
Oh, this is tough.
I thought you would come prepared.
I mean, I have my answers, but I feel like I want to mix it up a little bit. But I don't think Afghanistan has it in them to make it out of that group. That's
okay. Wait, hold on. Top 4 for the T20 World Cup. Go.
My top 4 for the T20 World Cup are India, Australia, Pakistan, and West Indies.
That's crazy. Okay, so my top 4 is India, Australia, England, and West Indies. I just don't think this Pakistan team is in form.
Take it off.
I say this while wearing the shirt.
Take it off.
The star on my heart. Pakistan has too many holes in their team. Top order not in form. Middle order unsettled. Shadab Khan, our strike leg spinner, is not in form. That being said, this is just me speaking right now before the tournament. All of this can turn around in the tournament. Simon, you can come back in form. Azam Khan can win new matches. Shadab Khan, once he's ripping it, those 99K leggies.
Yeah.
He can be back getting wickets. All of this can turn around, but just as of now, as of today's date, May 30th, it's 12 a.m. I think Pakistan making it is tough.
Damn, man. This guy, you know what? Pavilion Sports, I don't know why you sent this guy a jersey. Take it back. I would say take it back. There's merit to your argument. I'm not going to totally pin you against the wall. There is merit to your argument. But I think this format suits Pakistan cricket team the best. I think they find a way to come out every time. I would rate them higher than that. I think, would you have them at 5 at least? 5 or 6?
Yeah, for sure. I think they're a dark horse. They can definitely trump over West Indies and make it.
Okay, let's talk about this. Pakistan, England, South Africa, and West Indies. That's our tentative group. You don't think they can beat West Indies?
Man, these are tough matches. I just saw 2 series, okay? West Indies beat England
Crazy
3-2 in the series that happened in December, right? So they demolished them. And then this recent series against South Africa, they beat them 3-0. Bro, the last game, they chased 160 in like 12 overs.
Yeah.
So I think before this World Cup, like a few weeks ago, I may not have had West Indies in my top 4. But after speaking to Carlos Brathwaite, after hearing his reasoning, after watching West Indies play, I think they know the home conditions the best. They rely on their explosive batting. They've got some key additions in their team. Omni Russell is back. Sherfane Rutherford is in there. Rolf Ben Powell is captain. Brandon King is in form. I think this is going to be, it might just be an England versus West Indies final. It might just be.
That's crazy. So in this scenario, you don't see Pakistan beating West Indies and England? You think they're going to lose against those two?
So I think Pakistan and West Indies in World Cups, they just don't have a good relationship. In tournaments, you expect Pakistan to supersede West Indies. More often than not, we have lost against them. 07 ODI World Cup. You look at the 2014 T20 World Cup, 2015 ODI World Cup, 2019 ODI World Cup. Like, and this is an ODI that at least you expect Pakistan to beat West Indies, but just something happens where West Indies and Pakistan two of the most unpredictable teams. Once you put them in a jar and you mix it up, West Indies, they explode. Pakistan implodes, and West Indies, more often than not, comes on top. I think with the firepower that West Indies have, they're relying a lot on their six hitting ability. And boy, do they have six hitters. Like 60 in 4 overs for them is chaseable easily with balls to spare. When you have guys like Rutherford and Russell and Robin Powell and Romario Shepherd in your team, I just think West Indies is going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, even Carlos was mentioning how West Indies has the fire back in them, famously, fire in their eyes. Because they have something to prove, man. Cricket, the 2023 World Cup was a dark spot for them. It was almost shameful that West Indies was not in that World Cup. And they have something to prove. It's home conditions. They're their hosts. They want to put up a show, and they have the star power and the firepower to do it. I still think in that group stage, I think Pakistan, if not West Indies, they do get over England and South Africa. I do believe that.
They
South
need
Africa,
one good game against England,
so
which they
all
can
they
have.
need is momentum. This is my theory. If Pakistan come out of the group stages on 1, meaning they beat India and everybody else in that group stage, like they did in 2021, it's going to be a different ballgame.
Wait, hold on, bro. Pakistan cannot go unbeaten in any tournament. They have to have a bad day.
Okay, well, listen to me. In the group stages, Group A, if Pakistan beats India, who are they going to lose against? USA, Canada, Ireland?
USA just beat Bangladesh. Pakistan lost to Ireland in the first T20I. Anything is possible.
Yeah, this guy's concern trolling so hard right now. I don't even know. Like, let's talk about it in a realistic way.
Realistically, any team can beat anybody on any given day.
No, but that's like, okay, maybe I'm looking at it a bit two-dimensionally. Two-dimensionally. I think momentum is key in this World Cup. That goes for every team. I think if Pakistan beats in India, it has to be convincingly like it was in 2021. I think Pakistan can go on a run. I'm genuinely thinking that. And there is a reason why India and Pakistan have that game early on in the tournament. It will define what happens in Group A and will define which way these teams are going to go.
Well, that's actually predefined. It doesn't matter who finishes 1 and 2 because it's predetermined.
What I meant was the way that they play and continue on to the World Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything goes back to 9th June, bro. Everything goes back to 9th June.
It's my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad. What happens is if India demolish Pakistan, we might see Pakistan struggling to even beat Canada, Ireland. I'm talking about that game, that stupid reserve day game in 2023 Asia Cup. That might repeat itself. This is a very different scenario altogether where Pakistan's sort of already down and they're trying to find their way back up, as opposed to that Asia Cup where Pakistan was number 1 team in the world, sort of had their 11 locked in. Everything was like so sweet for Pakistan. Like I have never been that confident in a Pakistan cricket team ever in my life than I was that fateful summer. But then again, we saw what happened.
Okay, so if you're saying if Pakistan loses to India, it will make this group so interesting that you have no idea. Would you say Ireland can beat Canada?
Yes.
Would you say Ireland can beat USA?
Yes.
So if Pakistan loses to India, the last match of that group is going to be Pakistan versus Ireland. And if Ireland beat Pakistan, which they have recently passed, and in the 07 ODI World Cup, Ireland will go through ahead of Pakistan.
There is a scenario like that.
Yes. It can happen. It's a possibility.
It depends on. This is why the whole Babar Azam captaincy thing rubs me the wrong way. Is like there was a moment in that T20 World Cup. In that 2023 World Cup. They need to rename these things. This is getting too wordy for me. I think who was telling us? Somebody was telling us off camera that there was a moment where it was just all about confidence. I think Salman was telling us that. Salman Yaga was saying that they just lost their confidence. They didn't know. It was the same players, same bowlers, but they were just down in the dumps. I don't know if Babar is the guy to pick them back up again. He wasn't able to do it in the 2023 World Cup. It didn't happen for them. And comes out and he had to resign. So he's back. It's a different Babar, sort of, kind of, little bit. It's not Babar 2.0. It's Babar 1.5. Like, you know what I mean? It's not It's not a complete change, but there's a little bit here and there. But I just don't know if this is the guy who can pick you up when shit's hit the fan. And shit could hit the fan. You lose from India, and suddenly you need to win all of them to make it through. And then if you make it through on like NRR or something, then you've just basically scraped your way into the groups, the Super Eights. And if that's your scenario, then I don't think you're going to come out of the World Cup. That's just me being honest. Anyways, in a perfect world, Pakistan makes it to the top four. My top four again: India, Australia, Pakistan, West Indies. Yours is India, Australia, England, West Indies. Who do you have? Who's the semifinalist then in that moment? What is 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm actually not sure who, like, if India, Australia, Pakistan, West Indies qualify, Pakistan, England qualify. I don't know. I'm not sure who faces who when.
Let's just say
because we only know where India's playing. We don't know
Yeah.
where anybody else is playing.
I think it's going to be like in 1, 2, 3, 4 will be more like in Australia will be 1. I have England as 2 in your scenario. I have India as 3 and Pakistan as 4. I think that seems logical. And then 1 plays 4, 2 plays 3, right? So Australia, Pakistan, in my books, and then India versus West Indies in mine as well. And then for you, it'll be India versus England and Australia versus West Indies.
I don't know how you're just writing off England.
I'm not. I'm genuinely scared of them.
I think they're the most dangerous T20 white ball team. They were, and then they got Chris Jordan, Jofra Archer back in the team, which just makes them even more deadly, in my opinion.
All I'm thinking about is the 2022 final, and I'm like, just 15 more runs and we had them. That's all I'm saying. 15 more. 150. Pakistan made 150 in that game. Pakistan might have. There would be 2 stars in their chest right now.
There's this.
So what I'm saying is they're not like people are comparing this English team to like the 2007 Australian team, where it's like, oh my god, there's no way to beat these guys. There's a way. Definitely is a way. The way that they're attacking cricket does have cracks in the armor. There's chinks. You just got to be willing to be rough enough to dig through it. That's it.
Right.
Josh Butler scares me though.
Bro, Phil Salt is even more scarier.
No.
He's had a crazy IPL, and like he's replaced Jason Roy.
Yeah.
Alex Hale retired, so Phil Salt can take his place. Like he's dangerous. Former Islamabad United agenda.
I don't think that's true, but fair enough. Phil Salt is yet to scare me. Personally speaking, I've seen a few of the games. I've seen the IPL games as well. It's okay. Like against Pakistan, he skied one really quickly.
That's one game.
Early on in the innings. I know it's one game, but I'm saying you just need one bad game. And
Phil then Salt also England, they bat really deep. Like they have Moeen Ali, Livingston, Adil Rashid, Jofra Archer coming in.
Pakistan bat to 11. What are you talking about? Haris Rauf? He's good.
Come on, man.
This guy just said that. Bro, Haris Rauf can dig you out of situations. You know this, right?
What situation?
Like he's hit some few. I'm forgetting. I think it was 2023 World Cup where he like came out and smacked a few. Am I misremembering this?
You are.
It was maybe before that. I've seen him hit 6s. You can't be like, oh, Haris Rauf can't swing
in table cricket.
Nah,
Haris Islamabadi.
That's unfair. Haris Tapia. No, that's unfair. Pakistan bat deep as well. Naseem bats, Shaheen bats.
We're here in the semis now.
Yeah,
we're just fast forwarding 3 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have in the finals?
See, now this is where I have to like dislodge my loyalty from with the greens. Like again, Pavilion Sports, thank you for the jerseys. But I think as far as where I'll be wearing them, I don't think Pakistan make it to the final. If Pakistan make it to the finals, that'll be insane.
Only to lose again?
They will lose. They will lose. Like again, I say this, but then I'm also thinking about the run, bro. That's in my head. I have this like insane Pakistan run that's going on. Like 2021 World Cup will be put to shame. But then again, I'm like, maybe we won't even make it.
Bro is deluded to the max.
So much, bro. I'm hyped up. These jerseys are great, by the way. Guys, buy these. But like, it's doing something to me. It is.
So, in my opinion, there's going to be a final between England versus West Indies.
Oh, no, it's Australia, England.
You know what's funny? Actually, I don't know. It's funny if
Australia, England. Judging by the way that your pool goes, but if it's my pool, it's Australia, West Indies.
My Indian friends, and my teammates, colleagues, they have no expectations from this Indian team. Like, they don't even want to talk about how far the Indian team will go. And I think this is a consequence to what happened the last ODI World Cup, what's been happening the last 10 years for India in ICC events. They hype up the team, they build it up to whatever it is, and then come to ICC knockout events, they deflate like a balloon. So I just think Indian fans are traumatized. They're in that mindset where no expectations, no disappointments.
Maybe that's smarter. Maybe what I'm doing here is more toxic. I don't know.
And you're also misleading the people.
I'm not misleading anybody, guys. Our listeners are smart. They can form their opinions, right?
The amount of hate we got when this guy said, "Have you seen the fire in Babar Azam's eyes?" Bro, there was no. At best, there was a spark. A spark came and it went.
Yo, people still DM us about that. People are trolling me on I was on Reddit, like just randomly Pak Cricket. Shout out to Pak Cricket Reddit. I know people from there listen to us. I think I said, I said something to someone on some post, and they just brought out the fire in the eyes. You know what else? That one I get tweeted at and at a lot. And we're back, baby.
We're back, baby. Worst timing.
It's like, what do you guys want from me? What do you guys want? We're back, baby. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying we're back right now. But yo, there might be a moment in this World Cup. I'm just letting you guys know right now. It might just come out.
Bro, you gotta pull it. Let's say if Babar Azam scores 100
fire in the eyes
against India, there's fire in the eyes, and we're back, baby.
And you know what you got trolled about?
What?
Shaheen is the Picasso of the swing bowling. I still have that pin on.
What
Instagram.
does that make Naseem Shah? Doesn't okay?
Van Gogh.
No. The Mozart.
Mozart is music though.
Different genre.
Different genre. Okay, different genre.
Naseem Shah is the Mozart of fastball.
Okay, we're not gonna clip this now. We're gonna clip it when he takes his first forfeit, and that's gonna happen in this World Cup. I think so. Yeah. So I have Australia, West Indies, in my top two.
And who's your winner?
I hate to say this, but it's Australia.
Because they just know how to win tournaments.
No, because I saw the delivery that Stark bowled in the final, and it's over for everybody.
And I'm seeing also how Travis Head is batting the past 1 year. He's had centuries in a World Test Championship final, century in an ODI World Cup final in India, in Ahmedabad, 100,000 plus crowd, silenced them.
Fearless. Yeah, so it doesn't get tougher than that. He's just off a great PSL. Off of a great IPL as well. He just won that. He's crazy right now.
I think it's going to be a repeat of the 2016 T20 World Cup, England versus West Indies, and West Indies to win it.
Carlos got in your head, bro. That's what he wants to.
He's brainwashed me.
I mean, let's go through the predictions real quick then. Who do you have? We give our top two. We give our semifinalists. We have our finalists, and we have our winners each. Who do you think is going to be the top run scorer?
So I think the top run scorer of this World Cup is going to be Joss Buttler. I think he has the ability to hit your good balls for fours. You look at the last T20 World Cup final that happened, and Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf were in the middle of a terrific bowling spell. Like Naseem Shah was bowling at his best. And in the midst of his spell, Joss Buttler goes in and scoops him for a 6 over fine leg. More recently, we saw Joss Buttler reverse sweep Shadab Khan for a 6 over backward point. So the point I'm trying to say is that he is a 360 player. He capitalizes the power play. And once he gets in, he scores big runs.
Yeah.
Also just in great form. He scored runs last time when he was in the West Indies touring. He's an attacking batsman. He knows his game. One of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube is his T20 batting masterclass. I learn a lot, but it's just hard to implement scoop shots and reverse laps, and just his game sense and the way he manipulates the field is very impressive.
One of my favorite YouTube videos to watch about Joss Buttler is Joss Buttler sledging. I think you get some value out of that. For me, it's the one and only Virat Kohli. I think I just saw an interview of his that you actually sent on the group, which was him talking to Suresh Raina and CSK players, and it was like the motivation that I was seeing, the MO that I was seeing, it's different. He wants to prove something. That's the only trophy that he doesn't have in his cabinet, international trophy that he doesn't have in his cabinet, and he wants it. He wants to complete the trifecta, and I think he's hungry for it. Now, will India make it past the top four? Does India even make it to the top two? Does India win this all? We don't know. Could be yes, could be no. I think that's probably not the case, especially not in this World Cup. But you can bet that Virat Kohli is gonna show up. He's gonna go ballistic. Like this past IPL, he was the top run scorer like for the fourth or fifth time. He's done this before. 2016, he was the top run scorer in the T20 World Cup, and he has something to prove. He knows that if he gives 100%, 110%, his team will be lifted higher. And this might actually be the last World Cup that we see of the Sharmas and the Kohlis. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they have another one in them, but all I can say is that he's going to go out and he's going to go out with a bang. And yeah, my money's on Kohli to take this one. But top wicket taker.
You mentioned Virat Kohli not having a T20 World Cup in his trophy cabinet.
Yeah.
Shahzeb Hassan has more T20 World Cups than Virat Kohli. Kamran Akmal has more IPL trophies than Virat Kohli. So I'm just going to let that sink in to everybody listening in.
Yo, that Shahzeb Hassan callback is dirty, bro. You should have not done that. That's just like you've triggered a lot of people. I'm triggered. I might go back from my own account and be like, yo, backward points like that. Who do you have as the top wicket taker?
My top wicket taker for this World Cup is going to be Jasprit Bumrah. I think he's an incredible new ball bowler. He is one of the best death bowlers in the world. I think after Malinga, if you were to bet your life on somebody nailing in a Yorker, it has to be Bumrah. He also has great variation, slower balls, cutters, and I think we'll see lots of those deliveries being implemented in this World Cup with the slow and tricky pitches here in the Caribbean. So I have my money on Bumrah being the highest wicket taker.
It's Jofra Archer for me. I think he's cementing his comeback in the most glamorous of ways, and just a top wicket taking nod would take him over the line and just be like, yeah, he's 100% back. The way he's bowling is incredible. Like we were talking about this when we were watching the first or second T20, whichever one it was, the one that didn't get rained out at the point of filming this. Bro, this guy just jogs in and bowls 90 miles. That's insane. I haven't seen anyone do that. And I'm really excited to see him, and I think he's going to be really successful in this World Cup. Another person that I'm actually just wanted to give a quick shout out, depending on how far his team goes, Rashid Khan. This might be his World Cup. Slow, dry, spinning, turning tracks. Rashid is going to spin webs around these guys. Now, I know that teams in general gave Rashid a big pass. They don't go attack him, take 24 off of him, call it a day. So maybe, just because of how defensive people are against Rashid, maybe they give wickets to other people in his team. We've seen that tactic out many times. So maybe he's a victim of that a little bit. Maybe that's why we won't see him score as much. But if his team gets into the Super 8s, yeah, it's going to be a different ballgame. I think he might sneak through in the top wicket-taking category. Any player to watch out? Names that you'd like to throw out before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I was gonna say Jofra Archer, but you already hinted on him.
Yeah.
From the Indian team, I think Jaiswal might be the most impressive player this World Cup. The selectors have picked him over Shubman Gill, who is in the reserves. So
wild call.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm excited to see him play. He's a great player of spin and pace, and for some reason, I have hopes for Saim Ayub to turn things around in the World Cup. When the World Cup goes to the Caribbean, it's conditions he's familiar with. And he had the most sixes last CPL. He had the second most runs behind Shave Hope. I really feel like Saim Ayub, once he gets back into his groove, he can win Pakistan matches single-handedly. Now, people will say, oh, he's played 19 innings and he has no 50, or he averages 15. I think there's some players you got to back. And the sense I feel from Babar Azam and co is they're going full backing mode with Saim Ayub and Azam Khan. And if Pakistan has at least 7 matches, they have 4 group matches, and then they have 3 Super 8 matches, 7 matches. If Azam can win you 2 of them, if Saim can win you 2 of them, Pakistan has good chances of making it to the top 4.
I agree. I think that's a good call on that. Yeah, I think that's a great way to end it. A positive note. We have a lot more episodes coming in, guys. Honestly, like if I just open up the chat that we have going on, we have at least like 5 more, maybe this week coming out. So stay tuned. There's so much Backward Point content on the way. If you guys want bonus episodes, if you guys want episodes early access is fully available to our Patreon members up to 24 to 48 hours. Like the Carlos pod was up on the Patreon like maybe 2 days before we released it live to the public. That might not be 100% of the case because of the nature of the World Cup, but definitely it'll be up on Patreon before it'll be up on the YouTubes and the Spotifys. You can check out the Patreon links below. It's a great time to join it. Yeah, and one thing that I always mention is the Discord fam. Like the Discord fam is going to be wild in this next 6 weeks.
What's a Discord?
What is a Discord? What do you mean? What is a Discord?
Like if people want to know, like what's a Discord fam? What is a Discord? Like explain to me what it is. Why should I join it?
Okay, so Discord is an app where you build community. It's a community building app, basically. We have a Discord channel called Backward Point. If you can join it and
For free.
For free, it's absolutely free. It's a lot of the young Gen Z people are there. A lot of streaming happens there. People play games there. That's the context of the app. We joined it because we wanted to build this community deeper, and people who are just fans of the podcast, listen to every single episode, want to have a non-toxic community where they can sit and talk to other cricket fans. And it's not only Pakistani fans, guys. We have English fans, you have Australian fans, Indian fans, West Indian fans. Like everybody's there from all over the world. You're gonna sit there, enjoy, debate, talk, cry, whatever. And if Pakistan sucks ass, then yeah, PCT, Pakistan Cricket Therapy. We have a voice channel there where we call everybody in after a horrible, horrible loss, and we vent and we hear the people out. People come out, just want to talk. They want to hear us and hear our opinions live. That's one place you can join for absolute free.
I'm thinking we should do the opposite of that this year. We should do a PCT celebration voice channel once Pakistan wins.
Interesting. Maybe that's something we would pull through. We can definitely do that. The last thing is always check our socials. Check this, check that, check this,
check the mirror, check the radio.
If you really want to know what we're talking about, yeah, you can just check us out on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all that, and leave a comment. Let's engage. Let's get this on, man. There's lots of wonderful cricket content coming out from a lot of people all over YouTube. Gotta give shout outs to Pro Sports. Gotta shout out to Butta Fast. They're doing amazing jobs. Check them out as well. It's always a good time to hear other people talking because I kind of get tired of your voice. You get tired of my voice.
I'm tired of listening to Rashid Latif on Game On Hai. So
I don't know why you're still doing that.
I just love the cricket community that's building within the Pakistan cricket media industry.
Yeah.
And I consume Pro Sports. I consume Butta Fast.
Yeah.
I love listening in.
Yeah, show them love. I know we have a lot of fans that overlap, and their fans listen to us. We listen to them. Butta Fast is like my pinnacle. But the way that they like the chemistry that Usman and Amr have, like it's next level.
Amr is the king of analogies.
And I just wink, nudge, nudge to people right now. Just hold this, earmark this. This mention of Usman and Amr, something might be coming up in the future with that. I think that's enough for us. Like I've been rambling on for an hour and 20 minutes. Lots of episodes coming in. Take care of yourselves. Hold on to your horses because boy, this is gonna be a wild ride.
Let us know what your top 4 for the World Cup is going to be. Mm-hmm. Top run score, top wicket takers, and who knows? By the end of it, we'll come back to these comment sections and we'll see what you guys did. And since the comments will be dated, we'll know when you made the comment as well.
100%.
The emoji of the day.
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
Stars, bro. Matrix jersey, star on the chest, star for the Pakistan win. So if you've made it this far in the podcast, type in stars in the comment section or wherever you get the podcast from.
Yeah, that's great. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Nader Sayed out and Bashar Sayed is also out with me. See you guys in the next one.